Rest sounds simple, until you try to do it cleanly. Then you notice something uncomfortable. When you stop moving, when you stop producing, when you stop managing, your nervous system doesn't always soften. Sometimes it drops, sometimes it numbs, sometimes it spirals, sometimes it fills the space with distraction. Season 10 is about participating without becoming. And rest is where participation either matures or collapses. Because there's a difference between restoration and escape, between resetting and withdrawing, between recovery and avoidance. Most people don't know the difference. They just know they're tired. Let's start with something honest. If you've built strength without performance, if you've built discipline without self-punishment, if you've led without armor, you will eventually feel fatigue. Not weakness, fatigue. And if you don't know how to rest cleanly, fatigue turns into collapse. Collapse looks like overscrolling, overeating, oversleeping, checking out emotionally, avoiding responsibility under the banner of self-care. Rest that collapses feels heavy afterward. You don't feel restored. You feel dull. You feel behind. You feel slightly ashamed. That's not rest. That's nervous system shutdown. Clean rest feels different. It's intentional. It's contained. It has edges. It says, I'm stepping back for an hour. I'm sleeping early tonight. I'm taking space to reset. And then you return. You don't disappear. You don't drift. You reset and re-engage. Participation includes recovery, but it does not include abandonment. Let's look at the pattern most people fall into. They push hard. They build. They lead. They care. They show up. Then they hit a wall. And instead of resting early, they push through. Then the crash comes. And when it does, it's not gentle. It's collapse. Everything drops. Structure dissolves. Discipline disappears. Energy crashes. Then shame creeps in. Then rebuilding begins. That cycle isn't strength. It's imbalance. Rest that doesn't collapse is preventative. You don't wait until you're broken. You rest while you're still strong. That's maturity. Here's the deeper layer. Some people don't rest because they fear losing momentum. They think, if I slow down, I'll lose discipline. If I take a break, I won't come back. If I rest, I'll fall behind. That's identity fear. Participation-based rest trusts return. You can pause without losing yourself. Because you're not performing productivity. You're participating in rhythm. Life moves in rhythm. Inhale, exhale, engage, recover, push, reset. When rhythm disappears, burnout begins. There's also the opposite pattern. Some people rest as avoidance. They feel discomfort. They label it burnout. They retreat. But the issue wasn't fatigue. It was fear. Fear of conflict. Fear of failure. Fear of visibility. So they call withdrawal rest. But inside, anxiety remains. That's not restoration. That's postponement. Rest that doesn't collapse is honest. It asks, am I tired? Or am I avoiding? Those are different. Fatigue needs sleep. Avoidance needs clarity. Let's bring this into family life. You come home drained. You sit down. You scroll. You detach. You tell yourself you need a minute. An hour passes. Connection weakens. Presence fades. That's collapse. Now imagine this. You come home. You say, I need 20 minutes to reset. You breathe. You shower. You step outside. You sit quietly. Then you re-enter. Present. That's contained rest. Same need. Different execution. One withdraws. One resets. Rest also requires boundaries. If you're always available, you won't restore. If you're always reachable, you won't reset. Participation doesn't mean constant access. It means intentional engagement. So sometimes rest requires saying no. Not dramatically. Calmly. I'm unavailable tonight. I'm off at this time. I'll respond tomorrow. That boundary protects rhythm. And rhythm protects strength. There's a biological layer here too. Your nervous system oscillates between activation and regulation. If you live in constant activation, rest feels uncomfortable. Stillness can feel unsafe. You may reach for stimulation to avoid silence, but regulated rest feels calm, grounded, not numbing, not frantic. If silence feels threatening, that's something to notice gently. Not judge, just notice. Learning to sit in quiet without distraction is strength. It's the opposite of collapse. Let's connect this to discipline. Some people equate rest with weakness. They think real strength pushes through, but pushing through without rest is performance. Participation-based discipline includes recovery. Athletes train hard, then they recover intentionally. If they skip recovery, performance drops. Life works the same way. Your mind needs reset. Your emotions need space. Your body needs restoration. Without it, reactivity increases. Clarity drops. Patience shortens. That's not sustainable strength. Rest without collapse also means you don't over-identify with exhaustion. You don't make tiredness your personality. You don't turn fatigue into narrative. I'm burned out. I'm drained. I'm overwhelmed. Maybe you are, but sometimes you're just tired. And tired has a simple solution. Sleep, silence, space, not story. Here's something subtle. When you stop performing strength, old exhaustion can surface. You may realize how long you've been bracing, how long you've been carrying, how long you've been pushing. That awareness can feel heavy at first. Let it surface. Then rest intentionally, not as escape, as recalibration. Participation means you return afterward. So here's your challenge this week. Experiment with structured rest. Choose a defined window, 30 minutes, an hour, an evening, and rest cleanly. No scrolling, no background noise, no multitasking, just restoration. Then return to your responsibilities deliberately. Notice how different that feels from collapse. Notice how your energy responds. Notice how clarity returns faster. Season 10 has built something layered and steady. Care without carrying. Conflict without identity. Building without becoming. Authority without armor. Discipline without self-punishment. Speaking without defending. Love without ownership. Moving forward without narrative. Strength without performance. Now rest without collapse. Engage. Recover. Engage again. That rhythm is adulthood. Not dramatic. Not performative. Steady. There is something powerful about resting without disappearing. It communicates to your nervous system, I can pause and still be secure. You don't lose momentum. You don't lose identity. You don't lose position. You reset and continue. Next episode, we'll close this season with fully in, nothing to prove. Because when care is clean, strength is steady, and rest is rhythmic, life becomes simpler. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who confuses collapse with rest. And if you're ready to reset without withdrawing, stay here. Season 10 continues.